Charter Local Edition, Brad Pomerance here inside the state capitol in Lansing. We are joined by Norman Saari. He is a commissioner with the Michigan Public Service Commission. I'd like to speak with you about energy. And the reality is, and I always might remember my mother saying, turn off the light switch and, turn off the air conditioning, turn off the heater. But those were sage words. I mean, we really need to focus on being smart about energy use. And that's part of the work of the Energy Commission.
It is, and it's our responsibility because 8 years ago, the Michigan legislature enacted legislation that directed and guided the utilities to put into place programs that would be saving energy. And obviously that gave the Public Service Commission the responsible party then to implement those programs and make sure that what the utilities were doing, in fact, did help residential and commercial customers save electricity and natural gas. It's both energies.
Right, but the good news is it's now a lot easier to save. And how do we do that? Efficient appliances, insulation, efficient lighting. That is now all getting affordable.
Absolutely. Well, and the first thing you do is you go like this. You flip the light switch off when you're not using it.
That's what my mom told me.
Or click, you click.
Right.
I know we want the TV to be running on cable.
Of course, but be that as it may, right.
Yeah, but you're finding that the efficiency that you get through improved technology, and lighting is probably first and foremost, where you and I and people who do not have an electrical engineering degree can actually unscrew that inefficient light bulb, screw in an efficient light bulb. It's going to be good for 25 to 30 years, and it's going to save you a lot of money.
And let's talk about these efficient light bulbs, because be it a consumer, be it a city, a county, or the state of Michigan, some of those light bulbs that are incredibly efficient cost a little more up front. And so how do we kind of change the mindset and acknowledge that, okay, it's going to cost a lot more, but you're going to save a lot more if you do it through the long term?
Well, and I think that's also part of the program that we have with this efficiency plan in place, where the utilities are actually rebating, whether it's through a big box store or the local hardware store, that price tag on it has come down significantly. And I know that you buy that bulb and you put it in, you're going to both have efficiency and savings, plus the longevity is incredible. When you're talking about light bulbs that may be lasting 25 or 30 years, that's a great advance of technology.
So we as consumers probably can hack that. We buy a few for the home, but if the city of Detroit wants to go on an LED lighting spree, let's call it, as they did, that's a significant expenditure. And so how does government prepare and manage that?
Well, it's a significant expenditure that you bond over a long term for many millions of dollars for new street lighting system, and the savings that you get. And Detroit is a great example. The LED lights that are now, they're commonplace for street lights. It's better lighting, it's more efficient, it's longevity issues. It's a win-win-win all the way around. And it isn't just Detroit. Small towns are doing that too. Anyone who really is looking for, whether or not it's a commercial or an industrial customer, whether or not it's the resident back home or the municipality, they can all save money.
So, as you said, the legislature set goals for energy reduction. Those goals, you just flew right through them.
Well,
I mean, let's talk about that. We saw that electricity, the goal was beat by 17%, I think it was. Gas by 21%, did I get that right? Or maybe the reverse?
And let's talk in an easy number. It saved $5 billion over the 8 years that these programs have been in place. That's substantial savings. And that's savings that you and I and all of our friends and neighbors have had part of that $5 billion in savings from efficiency standards.
What can the commission do, though, when we look at fluctuating prices? Because obviously during those years, I mean, there were some differences, but energy prices have been dipping, but who knows what could happen?
Well, and I think you're going to see that first and foremost with natural gas. The price of natural gas has certainly gone down significantly over the past 3 years, 5 years. And that's why even if the homeowner is using more, maybe they have a bigger home or something like that, their bill is going to be lower because the price of the fuel, the commodity is lower. But when you're putting efficiency savings in to on top of the fact that the price of the fuel is lower, those are real, not imaginary, but those are real savings that the homeowner is getting, or that industry is getting,
Right.
or the corner grocery store is getting.
Right.
Everyone's saving.
Michigan continues to convert away from coal towards different energy sources, but Michigan still gets about 30% of its energy from coal. But how does Michigan continue to march through that shift?
Well, I think one of the things you're looking at is technology. Windmills, wind
Right.
energy, which is now about 15% of the electricity that's generated in the state is done by renewable energy, primarily windmills, a little bit of solar, but primarily windmills. That wasn't seen or heard or imagined a decade ago. What you're also seeing is because of the low price of natural gas, the natural gas is being burned in place of coal or in place of
I
oil
see.
at large generating plants.
A lot of the effort to move towards a diverse source of energy was driven by Washington, D.C., and driven by the Obama administration. We have a new administration coming in, and that administration, at least as it appears, does not seem as committed toward renewable energy. I'm not making a statement one way or the other, it is what it is. And so what does Michigan do in the wake of a real significant shift in federal policy?
Well, first and foremost, the Michigan utilities listen to their customers. When General Motors, the largest corporation in Michigan, largest corporation arguably in the United States and worldwide, when the president of GM has said that by 2050 they're going to be totally renewable energy at all GM facilities. Now that's a long way out. That's a goal a long way out. But you're looking at a large data center that's being built in Grand Rapids that they've said that they want a total commitment from their local utility to green energy, renewable energy. So it's customers talking
Right.
too.
But do you believe that that commitment will remain steady? Because look, there's no question the outgoing president was very clear on this. And so when you have a president being as strong on one issue, it sets a tone.
Sure.
And the incoming president, unlikely to set that tone.
Well, it isn't just the president in the world of political, it's the marketplace. And it's also the laws of technology that I know the two large Michigan utilities both announced earlier last year, long before the presidential sweepstakes were decided, that they were going to be shutting down in an orderly manner several of their coal plants. One utility, Consumers Energy, has shut down 7 plants this year. Coal plants, all coal plants.
Right.
Detroit Edison, other large utility, has announced that over the next 5 years they will be shutting down its coal plants because they're old, they're inefficient, and they're expensive when you compare them to natural gas or renewable.
So you believe the market in some ways dictates more than the preferences of any administration, federal, state, local, whatever it may be?
Absolutely. I think as you're looking at guidance from Lansing, from the state capital, or guidance from Washington, the nation's capital, that's all critically important. But first and foremost, those utilities and the local regulators and the customers are going to be making decisions based on what's their preference, what's best for them. And I think you're going to find a blend of all technologies. We don't favor one over the other in terms of a commissioner.
Sure.
From a commission's perspective, we want safe, reliable, and affordable. Safe, reliable, and affordable. And you can put a whole market
Right.
basket of ingredients into those
And that's the key, having a diverse panoply of energy choices so that no one, if there is a drop, impacts the market generally.
Absolutely.
His name is Norm Saari. He is a commissioner with the Michigan Public Service Commission. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're coming to you from Lansing, the state capital of the great state of Michigan. Let's start our local edition.